personal temperament will influence your military transition. Hey, I am Chuck the bureaucrat, and as I pick away trying to figure out how to make the process of the military transition smoother, well, an important factor seems to have cropped up. And it's a factor that you're going to want to consider in your own transition. See, I was talking to one of my subscribers, and she made the point that while understanding rules and regulations is, well, that's nice and all, there is an important human factor that comes into play. To put this discussion into context, I'm going to use a framework from one of my favorite books, The True Believer. It's a book about how mass movements unfold, and while it may not be immediately obvious, Americans' veterans are their own, never-ending mass movement. Anyways, the author makes the point that any mass movement has three basic types of participants: men of ideas, men of words, and men of action. And I'm not going to belabor the point. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Instead, let me make this point. The military is dominated by men of action, people who are pretty good at getting stuff done. Anyways, back to this conversation I was having with one of you. This young lady is 100% a woman of action. The world will throw problems at her, and she will focus on them and crush them. But she made an interesting point. She really doesn't like getting sucked into a lot of planning, particularly planning that involves thinking about problems that might or might not have to be dealt with. You see, for her, just like a lot of people of action, to think about a problem is to act on that problem. And if the problem in question is just one of those, in 6 months, this might matter kind of problems, well, you can imagine how that would cause a lot of wasted effort. Personally, I think that insight is fantastic, just in general, but it also has some major implications for military transition or retirement. Clearly, a good old-fashioned checklist is going to appeal to the man of action. 3 months before retirement, do this. Roger. Pop, pop. But I argue that those checklists can lead the man of action astray. First of all, the checklists are often focused on tasks that your service secretary has to perform in order to get you out the door. The checklists can overlook things that matter a great deal to you, but they don't really matter so much to the brass. Things like taxes and TRICARE and such. Number two, those standardized checklists are going to be chock-a-block full of issues that might not matter to you. So far, my personal favorite story of somebody getting screwed over is a guy who wasn't married, but somehow got talked in to paying for survivor benefit program. The point being that irrelevant information included in a checklist can actually trick a person into taking actions that have no value for them. At this point, my belief is that personalized analysis of what you need to consider and when you as an individual need to consider it, well, that's sort of the holy grail. And while I may not have the final answer, if you're interested in joining a group for transition support or for getting personalized analysis, click on the Join button to see some of the membership options that I offer. And if your plan is to go it alone, at least check out this video to get an orientation to some topics that you might want to consider.